Hey guys, and thanks for tuning into my video. And I want to do a quick video, and this is going to be on the Cobray RPB Industries Incorporated M10 45 caliber semi-automatic open bolt. This is made in Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America. Okay, this particular gun that we're showing here it has not been made since 1982. They stopped making them. This particular one is a 1981, so this is 32 years old, this gun you're looking at right here. This is more like a Mac clone, so there's a lot of guns out there like your Masterpiece Arms and some of the other ones you'll see at gun shows for 300, 400. This is not what that is. This is the original heavy gun, fires from an open bolt. And I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick the open bolt, how it fires. I'm going to take it apart, give you a little history on it. Initially, the gun was built by Ingram. It was invented by Ingram. He was the manufacturer of it. That's his name, last name. And the company had some problems, went out of business. To make a long story short, a few people bought all the parts, the stamped parts and stuff like that, and started assembling them as machine guns. And then the ATF got involved and said they're illegal to sell, so then they made them semi-automatic, and that's where you see the stamp on it. Let me just show you here. It says SAP, that stands for semi-automatic. And they stamped it and sold it as semi-automatic. It was still open bolt, it wasn't closed bolt, and we'll get into the open bolt to show you what that means. Okay, we're going to use a dummy round to show you. That's a 45 caliber dummy round. Okay, so let's start with the basic overview of the gun, and then we'll go a little forward. Let's first show you it's empty, and there's really not much to see. You see nothing. Okay, and take the safety off. See, it's empty. Okay, I'm going to show you something here, and let's bring the camera a little further down, move these other parts out of the way here so you can see. Alright. Okay, the Mac 10, the older one, fires from an open bolt. And you can see how that looks closed, like that's one of the dead giveaways. But what happens with the open bolt guns, when you take the cocking handle and pull it back and let go, it locks. On a semi-automatic, normally it will go forward like that, and then you would pull the trigger and you'd get your click. This clicks no matter what. That's not the firing pin. On a open bolt, you pull it back and you have a safety here. If you lock the safety, it doesn't go forward, but if you take that off and you just pull the trigger, it fires. So what happens, I'll be taking that apart to show you some of the insides of it. Comes with a threaded barrel. Okay, the threaded barrel was for a carryover. You could put a suppressor on there, or they give you a barrel extension. Because on the pistols they're a little harder to shoot, the extension goes on like this, and you would hold this. When you're firing, you would hold it. But like I say, with the open bolt, you put it like this, you fire, then the bolt will come back, you fire again, and that's how you'd fire the gun. It would keep coming back and it would go forward. Now, if it was a machine gun, this is the bolt semi-automatic version. There's a few different internal parts, and we'll go through that. What would happen is this would keep going back and forth like that, back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. As long as you held the trigger down, when you let go, then it would lock back on a machine gun. Okay, so that's how that would work. But I wanted to get that, show you that. Okay, now we'll take off this. And you can get threaded barrels for these to fit your more common guns, more common suppressors. Like you get these threaded for 578 by 28 millimeter. Okay, so let's go over that and show you again how it fires. What you'd want to do, you'd want to put it on, you want to cock it back, you want to put your safe on. Doesn't fire. Now this is also a locking mechanism here. You can actually lock it back, and it would lock the bolt back. But we're going to get to that. You have a round in there. You take it in, put it in, and you see it's in there. You take your safety off, and you would pull the trigger. Now, when you pull the trigger on this, like that, it's going to fire. And then what would happen is the slide with this bolt would come back down and it would eject your shell. I didn't do it real hard, but it would eject your shell. Then you would pull the trigger again and it would fire again. And that's basically how you fire this bad boy. So we're going to take it apart and show you. It doesn't really have a firing pin. It has actually like a little nib. I call it a nib. If you look in there, there's a little, see in the center of there? There's just like a little around. Well, that is what would happen is this goes forward. When it goes forward, the force of that bolt hitting fires it. Okay, so I'm going to open it up to show you since you know a little bit about it. But the easiest way, like I say, if you're at a gun show or you're going to buy a gun and somebody says, oh, this is OpenBolt and or something like that, just take the gun, okay, pull it back. If it locks back like that, okay, without the safety on, and you pull the trigger, and that's what happens, it is a semi-automatic OpenBolt. Okay, if you pull it back, again, well actually you could try it this way here. The easiest way to find out if, like if you're at a gun show, if it's OpenBolt, closed bolt, or a machine gun, is what you'd want to do. Let's say the gun is just laying like that. You'd want to do, with the safety off, make sure it's on fire, you pull it back, and then what you're going to do is you're going to pull the trigger and hold down, like that. You'll see that goes forward, so you know it's OpenBolt. Then pull it back again and let go. If it locks like that, then it's an OpenBolt, semi-automatic. If when you let go of it, it goes forward again, it's an automatic machine gun. Okay, but I wanted to show you that. Remember now, so if you take it and you're at a gun show, make sure it's on fire. Hold your finger off it, pull it back like that. Then pull the trigger and hold down. See how I'm still holding? Then pull it back and let go. And if you let go and it goes forward with your finger on the trigger, then it's a machine gun. If not, then it's still a semi-automatic and you can pull it again. So I wanted to show you that, okay? Let's go ahead and take it apart and show you some details on it. And I'll show you some stuff about why these are so rare. You can use anything to punch these this part here out, whatever you want. Easiest way to do it. There's normally a pin in this one, doesn't have to have the pin. You press down a little, and then you just push the pin out. There's a little pin. See the pin? Hold down, pull it out. When you take it, you push it, pull it up like that, and you just kind of wiggle out that part of it. Okay, it kind of comes right out. Okay, and you'll see when you take it apart. I'll look a little closer. Here's the frame. Okay, and here is the bolt. Okay, take the bolt out. There's a little thing, you pull it out. Side, you can pull your bolt out. Okay, that's pretty much all the pieces that there is. There's your barrel in there. On the older one, it has this little flared area on the older M10s. So don't be nervous if you buy one and it's got it. I was a little nervous. That just means it's an older one. Okay, the newer ones have just a regular barrel that looks like this all around it. The older ones have this little flared in there. Not a big deal. These are threaded. You can't take the barrels out. A bitch to take out, but you can. It's all pretty much heavy steel. The uppers on these, you can swap them out. You can put a 9mm upper in. You can't change these around though. Here's your bolt. And like I say, what I was saying before, if you look at that bolt, see that little point here. See that little raised area? Okay. See it real good? That raised area is the firing pin. Okay, so when it's in, basically it grabs it like that, and it goes, when it goes into the barrel, and just the force of this going down, that little nib hits it and ignites it. And that's all there is. On the closed bolt ones, they actually have a firing pin that goes in here. This is your buffer pad with your recoil springs. Pretty simply made. There's not a lot of technology in it. it does what it's meant to do. Now let me go. Okay guys, so let me show you here. Like I say, back to here, looking at the inside of this gun. You can see, if you're looking inside of here, now right here, a lot of times they'll cut this part off, and they will modify this part here a little by trimming it. Trimming this, this part here right off. There's a lot of manuals and books out to do this. Another easier way is, if we look at the bolt, okay, you look at the bolt and you'll get this kind of shiny area here. Let me show you something. Let me show you how that goes in there. Lock it. Okay, it's locked in, as you can see. Okay, and you'll see where the bolt rests inside of here. Okay, you can see where it goes. Okay, and as you'll see, as this goes down, it's gonna hit here and here. So let's just pull the trigger on this. Release the pressure. Okay. Now, what they say, which is a modification, this part here, you shave off, a small portion of this, make it a little square. This prevents this from hitting, this will prevent it from hitting here. And that actually makes it full automatic. That's another modification you can make. There's several of them. Some are hard, some are easy. But the easiest one is probably trimming a part off of that and buying an extra bolt and have an extra bolt laying around. And then whenever you're ready to rock, you pop that in, rack it, you do your deal. You'll still have control of the trigger, okay? You'll still have this because, let me show you why. You'll still have that first shot, because when you put this in here, if you look here, that's the part that releases it. See that? That will release it. That'll still work. Okay. It's just that right over here, you're trimming the parts off the bolt for here and here. So when you shoot that, it'll be automatic. You won't get a semi-automatic fire on it. But I wanted to show you that. And that's kind of, you know, I'm not saying this is something you should do with your guns, because you can get in a lot of trouble, end up in jail. There's a lot of parts on the internet for these. You can buy plenty of submachine gun parts for them. If you can find a lower for like $2,500, machine gun lower, then you could actually, you could find all the parts on the internet and could build it. But these still, like I say, would be, you know, you could modify them, not that you'd want to. Well, so let's just put this back together. Goes back in there, right about there. Get your little nut in there, step forward, and all you do to put it back together, it's pretty straightforward. You line that base into the gun, lift it up a little, push down, that's it. I mean, it's it's pretty simple to put together. You put a little pressure here, and you just push your pin in. Push it the right side. I think I push it the right side there. Okay. And you kind of got to wiggle it up a little. And you take that, push it in. It's together. So I'm going to show you that, and this was a slight kind of review on the RPB Industries 45 caliber auto. These are really heavy made guns, and they really fire good. The machine guns, you know, are just as good. It's just that you have to get the trust and do the transfer tax, and they're a little bit more. But thanks for tuning into my video. I hope this was educational, and tell me what you think. Thanks a lot.